Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's featured Reddit stories are from MaliciousCompliance. Story 1 is by due date 2024. College administration says that AI is here to stay. It sure is, and it will reduce cheating. I'm a college professor and teach a first-year core linguistics unit. Cheating has always been a problem, more so with the advent of AI, where some students turn in a referenceless ChatGPT word salad. There are tools that can detect AI written text. It's not definite, but if a piece of text is assessed as being likely AI written, coupled with a student being unable to defend themselves in an oral viva, then it's pretty solid evidence. I submitted academic dishonesty reports for several students. I was hoping to spend an hour or so on a call in total with those students and ask them questions about their essays. I got an email back from admin saying they would not entertain having oral vivas, that AI detectors give false positives, so unless there's an actual AI prompt in their essays, we don't want to hear about it. And that even if they did cheat, it's just a sign of adaptability to modern economic forces. They finally told me that I should therefore learn to incorporate AI in my classes. This happened 12 months ago. Okay, college administration, I will learn to incorporate AI into my classes. I'm the core coordinator for the core unit. I have full control over the syllabus. I started to use AI proctoring software for my assessment and quizzes. This software can use facial recognition and tracks keystrokes and copy-pasting. I also changed the syllabus to have several shorter writing assignments, i.e. 400 words, instead of a couple large ones, i.e. 1,500 words. Before you dislike me for ruining students' lives, this is a first-year course. Additionally, only citizens can enroll in online degrees in my country, and they only need to start paying back their student loans if they earn more than $52,000 a year. The result? Cheating has been reduced to a nil in my unit. All forms of cheating have been abolished in my class, including paid ghostwriting, AI and human. I was called to a meeting a few weeks ago where a board told me that the data analysis showed that a higher proportion of new students in my major are discontinuing their degree, and that this was forecast to cost them hundreds of thousands in tuition and CSP funding over the next few years. They told me that they fear my unconventional assessment method might be to blame. I simply stated that I was told to incorporate modern technologies. We are offering an asynchronous online degree. Our pathos is to uphold academic honesty, and that I offer flexible, AI-driven asynchronous assessment options that are less demanding than having to write large essays. AI is still new, and it still throws me for a loop. I'm curious, though, what you guys think about AI. Is it going to help humanity? Is it going to hurt humanity? And does it depend on certain things? I don't know if you guys have ever happened to play the game Horizon Zero Dawn, but the story for that game is one of the potentially bad outcomes of artificial intelligence. Can something like that happen? It's unlikely, but who's to say? Who can predict what will happen if we suddenly give AI the ability to make more of itself? You might even end up having a Borg-type situation like they have in Star Trek. One giant hive-controlled unit that controls everything but has all these mini units. It has all these sub-units, these creatures that work under its control, but it is one collective. I saw one thing posted online fairly recently, sometime over the summer I believe, that I completely agree with. And this is the statement right here. The true purpose of AI is to allow wealth to access skill without allowing skill to access wealth. So it's going to make people who are super rich, who might run a gaming company, not have to hire artists anymore that are the skilled workers. So people who go to school for computer design or, they become a graphic artist in school, they're skilled workers. But rich people no longer need them. So I think before it becomes anything good, it's going to become bad, personally. Oh, and just to credit the person that actually first ever said this, apparently it was on Twitter. It was by somebody named Jeffowski, just to give credit to them. It's not my quote. I remember seeing it a couple times. I never saw who it was credited to, but I just looked it up so I knew who to credit. The people who designed AI are generally really wealthy people, and Now they're not going to have to pay people for the skills that they have. It's definitely concerning. Artificial intelligence could be wonderful, but we are plagued by human greed. And so before anything happens that's good, I can anticipate it's going to be bad. Down in the comments by Infinite Hat 5261. I absolutely hate AI. I myself did a 6-month online course in understanding coding. The course had 5 units, and at the end of each unit, I had to answer questions in my own words. I'm a lazy learner and expect the provided course content to be enough for me to answer the questions. I rarely do my own external learning. Each assessment was ran through AI technology testing, and for Unit 4, it came back over 90% AI content. I have never used AI, ChatGPT, or any of the like. Couldn't even tell you names. I was on the phone in tears to my mentor, not the person who marked it, because how am I supposed to write in my own words when it's my own words that are being marked as AI content? I really do fear for students nowadays because genuine work could be marked as AI when it's not. Anyway, I fought against the decision and they ended up passing my work without doing anything to it. I did a little light grading when I worked in a school, and it was hard enough before AI to tell when somebody's work wasn't their own. You had to be able to dig and be familiar with some of the websites that would either write it for you or have somebody write it for you. I can't even begin to imagine what it's like now, with AI being an issue. Our next story is by Warm Kitten. Professor demands we stick to schedule. We stick to schedule. This was last year. In hindsight, I feel a little bad for the professor. He wasn't the worst I'd ever had, and he was up against a university which was in turmoil behind the scenes and spearheading an untested new course. That being said, I am paying quite exorbitantly for this education, and he was a right snot about this, so It was a history course, and one of the assignments was a group project wherein we presented in front of the class. There was a 3-hour seminar taking place in a lecture hall, the last hour of which was reserved for 2 groups to go up and present at a half-hour apiece. This would involve a Q&A session afterwards just to keep us on our toes, I suppose. Professor really emphasized that we pick the week and topic we're going to present in, and that's that. It's a first come, first serve, and if you miss your spot, you get a 0. Thought nothing of it at the time. Seemed fair. Didn't like his attitude, but whatever, right? Well, I won the lottery with the group I was assigned. They were grand lads and a dream to work with. We decided on an advantageous week to present, given our schedules, and we spent the run-up fine-tuning this presentation and really getting it to work. We used a stopwatch and everything. We even brought in outsiders to ask questions we might not predict. All was well. Except we were presenting in week 5, and a disturbing pattern had emerged during the seminars in week 2, 3, and 4. For all his talk about keeping things constrained and everybody working within a schedule, whoever went second was screwed. The first group always ran long, and the second group had to make do with, at most, 20 minutes. You could see the stress on their faces. So, come week 5, the rest of my group, a little bit more nervous than I, worries aloud about whether all our careful planning will be for pot. I decided to throw a Hail Mary, thinking that the worst I could get is a no, right? So I go up right before class starts and ask the professor, what are the odds we might go on first out of the 2? After all, we're sure we have this down to 30 minutes. The dude proceeds to rake me across the coals in front of everyone. It was a normal speaking voice, but the podium was right by the door and people were filing in. Tells me not to ask such a stupid question and go back to my seat. I go back, tail between my legs, pissed off, and sit with steam shooting out my ears for the next 2 hours. Sure enough, the other group goes first, and sure enough, they run long. We shoot concerned looks to the professor, who is too busy watching the other group to notice. Come 50 minutes in and the first group is just about wrapping up. The guys in my group are silently freaking out about this. Nightmare, right? That's when the professor stands up, polite applause all around, and says, "Well, I guess we're finishing early today, huh?" Like a scene out of a courtroom drama, the 4 of us stand up like a shot and ask what the heck is going on. He can't quite hear back from us, and we're all talking at once, so he asks, "What's going on?" I charged down those long steps like King Kong. In the same tone of voice, in front of the same door that the people were now filing out of, I tell this guy we're booked for the assignment today and we have something prepared. What? Turns out he totally plumb forgot that we were presenting today, and that's why he was so mad at my suggestion earlier. So I tell him we're presenting now to an empty room or he's giving us 100. The poor guy sure did try, insisted we hadn't signed up this week. We had. Insisted that he could schedule us in next week. Even assuming 2 of 4 of our group weren't away on placement for their teaching degree, we booked for this week as ordered. Insisted that he had somewhere else to be. Not my problem, mate. Dude just had to wear it. After making a phone call to, presumably, his next appointment, he had to stand there, white as a sheet, and wear it. I'll never forget the look on his face. So we presented to a lecture hall empty of all but the professor and 2 students who, I guess, wanted to see more of the show. We got a great grade to boot. It's obvious that you worked really hard on this presentation, like really hard. Some professors and teachers are power trippers and they do not give you the time of day. And they don't listen to your complaints because they think they're infallible. This guy obviously thought he could do no wrong. And due to that, he just wasted some time in his life. These 2 stories were pretty long today, so I'm just going to end it with these 2. Our stories for today have come to a close. If you enjoy this content, click like or subscribe or leave a comment below. Each of these things helps my channel reach more people in the YouTube algorithm. Until we meet again, have an infallible day.